What's going on, everybody? I am back with another Prizepicks MLB player props video. This one going to be breaking it down, giving you guys my first 6-pick flex that I did lock in today, breaking down the process on the channel. The same exact process that went into this 6-pick flex last night that you can see on the screen that I did place myself, that I did send over to the VIP that swept for a nice 400 into 10,000. So if you're looking at the screen and you're like, why did this guy take the over points, rebounds, and assists on Ariel Atkins, the under points on Boston, the under fantasy score on Nico Awumake? What's the reasoning? These videos are going to be a great sneak peek as to all that goes into it. I'm going to be giving you a full ticket. I just pick one ticket. Oftentimes, it might be the first ticket that I place. Today, that's going to be the case, and I'm going to share it with you here on the channel for free, guys. And if you want access to every single one of my picks as soon as I place them, would highly recommend you check out the VIP. If you head on over to my YouTube community page, you're going to see this stuff posted. So we swept last night. We just barely swept a couple days ago as well in the WNBA action. So WNBA, MLB are fully back. We're back in action. And I'm back with content, man. As much as I can give you for free content. The VIP is nonstop, though. I got to give some shout outs to the VIP before we get into it. These guys are the supporters. Really, guys, this is the best possible way that you could support my brand with also getting a ton of benefits. Like, it's a no-brainer, right? You're going to get access to all my picks as soon as I place them, and then it's a great way of showing me support. The free stuff, if you can't afford it, or if you're just not interested, or maybe you're not that serious of a player, you're not playing every single day, completely understand that. Just leave a like, a comment, that'll do. But if you're someone that's playing every single day, this is the best possible option for you. Because not only are you supporting the brand, but you're also getting access to all the plays. It's a no-brainer. You should be making a lot more than what you're investing monthly over here. That's the goal, obviously, or else nobody would be signing up and I'd have nobody in the Discord. So, I mean, Ackley, 20 into 500 last night with that same 6-pick flex. I already pulled mine up right here. With a 410,000, we had Headhunter 2. Bravo with 10 into $250. Ghost of Crowley here with a bunch of different tickets, so shout out to him. Great night. Right here you can see the 10 into 20 double up he had. 20 into 500 rocking with some of the plays here. A bunch of different winning tickets for him, so shout out to Ghost of Crowley. Great night over there for him. Kenshiro Powell with the 5 into 125 here. Eros 846 tail on that slip, 35 into 875. We had R Scales cashing in with a nice $2,800 win there for R Scales. Shout out to him. Okar with the same 6-pick flex, 5 into 125. Riddick's 5 into 125. Shout out to you guys. Ed the Fred, 75 into 1875. And then Smooth said he had a massive night here. Mixing those picks. Also, Eros headed on over to Flippin using 3 of the props that I was on for the plays over there. So shout out to every single one of these guys. Smooth with a bunch of different winners. I'd love to pull every single one of these up, but you can see a lot of green for him. And of course, it doesn't want to load for me here all of a sudden. But anyways, shout out to every single one of you guys over in the VIP, guys. If you haven't joined, hop in there today. Once again, all these tickets as soon as I place them, right? So you would have got notified of this as soon as I place. As you can see, this is my account. I placed this at 2:09 p.m. Eastern time on the bottom. As you can see, if we head on over to the Discord, yesterday was a massive slate. So I actually ended up having 6 tickets. And this was number 5. So you can see right here, yesterday at 2:10 p.m. Eastern time in the Discord, you can see I sent it in, right? You go to my screen, I placed this at 2:09 p.m. Eastern time, okay? So it's literally place, send, you're notified right away, you can lock in with me, and you get access to all the other stuff, the VIP play of the day. We've been on quite a roll with that. Yesterday was crochet. I'm sharing as much free content. Once again, this is a play I gave to you guys for free on the channel if you tuned in yesterday, right? So we cashed the crochet play of the day yesterday, but the day prior, Jaren Duran was another play I gave for free on the channel. We cashed that. The day prior was Nafisa Collier under fantasy score. I can't quite remember if I shared that one on the channel, but that's another feature. You get all the tickets. You get all the good stuff, guys. over there. So got to give some shout outs, got to let you know what's going on, and then let's get into the breakdown. So I got my first 6-pick flex that I locked in here today, and I'm going to share with you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell if you haven't already. You've come to the right spot if you're looking to learn how to profit on these prize picks and daily fantasy sports apps long term. This is going to be a great channel to help you out with that. Got a bunch of knowledge, bunch of resources, bunch of experience in this stuff. As you can see, I've done pretty well. So this is what we got, man. Just locked in this morning. We'll go pick by pick here and explain exactly why I like these plays. But let's do it, man. So Mackenzie Gore taking on the Atlanta Braves is going to be pick number 1. We're going with the under 6.5 pitching strikeouts. Because the Atlanta Braves are a team that really doesn't strike out. They just faced this same guy, Mackenzie Gore, right? He struck them out 10 times. Now, a lot of people, when they see that, a lot of sports bettors, not quite as experienced, you know, they might just pull in. They like to look at the last time they faced the team. 1, the lineups are going to always be different. 2, it's always a different situation. 3, that's just a terrible approach. Like, you need to know underlying metrics and you need to know Vegas data. I mean, the market knows everything. So the Braves are a team that traditionally really doesn't strike out a lot versus left-handed pitching. The K rate's been up a little bit more over the last 30 days, I will say. But if you look at the current season versus lefties, you can see like only 21%, 22%, 15%, 20%, 12%, 24 and 22% for Olsen, and then 26 and 31% at the bottom of the order for Orlando Arcia. Arcia is a guy that didn't strike out a lot last year, though. Like, this is a little bit strange out of him. If we go to last season's numbers, he only struck out 18% of the time. Michael Harris 21% of the time. Michael Harris only 18% of the time. So, I mean, once again, these are guys that traditionally don't strike out as much. The last 30 days, the K rate's been up a little bit for a guy in Ozuna, Arcia, and Kalanick. But outside of that, the rest of these guys, once again, aren't striking out. And 6.5 is a large number. You know, we're not asking him to go out there and only get like 4 strikeouts to go over. He's got to get 7. So all of these things factored in, and then if we pull up the old Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, guys, if you don't know this tool, this is one of the tools that I use throughout the day in my research to pull in market data. You hear me talk about market data a lot. This is going to streamline the market data into an optimizer and then tell us the best possible props on the board. This is the best prop on the board for Mackenzie Gore, the 52.46% hit rate. Why is that? It's because every single one of these major sports books with all these millions of dollars invested are favoring him to go under, right? So for those of you that don't know how to read sports books lines, let's say if you were to place this on Fliff, because they have him most heavily favored, minus 140 means they're saying there's a really good chance Mackenzie Gore is going to stay under that 6.5 line. So they're saying you have to risk $140 to win 100. You have to risk more than you're going to win, because you're more likely to win. So we're going to charge that extra price, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. So when I'm talking about like these guys being heavily favored, we want to be placing props that are heavily favored on prize picks in 5 or 6 pick flexes, because that same minus 140 juice you'd have to place on Fliff, right? This is in my university tab on my Discord. I'm pulling it up on the channel for free here quite frequently lately because I want to make this known. You only have to risk minus 119 in 5 and 6 pick flexes. And that's why I only run 5 and 6 pick flexes. That's why you'll see me talk about them nonstop. And if we're able to hit our hit rate at a 60% hit rate or higher in 5 and 6 pick flexes, we're getting a crazy good return on investment. 43% return on investment in 5 pick flexes and a 66% return on investment in 6 pick flexes. So that's why you'll see me just talk about playing 5 and 6 pick flexes and trying to get as many individual picks right as possible long term to make money. Okay? That's what we do here on this channel. That's what I teach. That's what I preach over in the VIP. And that's exactly the same exact process that has led me to, you know, getting to this point, to having the 2 sweeps in the last 2 weeks here, right? That one 10,000 win. We had the MLB before, and then we had another 10,000 win here. That adds up quickly, right? You're going to have some losses in between, but if you're able to get these sweeps, keep your hit rate up, you're going to eventually get this big payouts, okay? So Mackenzie Gore under is going to be pick number 1. So we got all those different data points telling us it's a good play. We've got, you know, Vegas sports books telling us it's a good play. That's all fantastic. Pick number 2 is going to be a first inning runs allowed prop, and it's going to be the under in this Toronto-Oakland game. So this game is going to be played for number one in Oakland, which is one of the best pitching environments in baseball. If you're not familiar with baseball, you know, all these different teams play in different stadiums with different dimensions. Oakland's going to be one of the best pitching parks in the entire MLB. We can go ahead and pull up the diagram here for you guys so you guys can get a visual as to how the Oakland Coliseum plays. You can see a lot of red going on here for hitting statistics, which is bad for hitters, but good for pitchers, right? Literally the only thing that really plays friendly in this field is the doubles in the gap to left field due to the walls being so deep. But you can see very difficult to hit home runs out of, very difficult to hit for average. It's just kind of like a condensed outfield and deep ballpark to the walls. Obviously, if there's less ground to cover on the outfield and then the walls are deep, it's going to be difficult for the hitters, easier for the fielders. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Some ballparks, the outfields are massive and the walls are closer and it's easier to hit them. You get the point. So first of all, it's a great pitching environment. And two, we have two good pitchers taking the bump here today. Kevin Gausman and Luis Medina, both really solid guys. If we look at their underlying metrics, on the season, they get to face two not-so-great lineups as well, right? So this is all good for the under, for there not to be runs scored. We have some good pitching, some not-so-good hitting. On the season, the A's, really the only guy that's too scary is this guy in the fourth spot, and Brent Rooker, who still strikes out a bunch. And Gosman's a guy that's been much tougher on right-handed hitting than left-handed hitting. So it's the lefties we're a little bit more concerned with him. He's starting to pick it up over the last 30 days as well. The pitching's been a lot better from him. But anyways, it's really the lefties we're scared of, and you have Abraham Toro and JJ Bleday here in the 1 and 3 spot that we're not too concerned about. So, you know, it's a good first 3 hitters he's going to have to face here as far as the matchup. It's good for him. They're not the greatest of hitters. The same thing on the other side. Toronto's been really bad, man. I mean, you got Danny Jansen who's been raking in the 2 spot. But outside of that, they've really not been that good. Luis Medina's been doing a fantastic job of limiting hard contact. As you can see here, like on this left side, the ISO, the weighted on base average is really good from him. So that's all factored in, right? And lastly, shocker, you know, I'm going to have some interest in looking at some market data. We can go back on over to the Daily Grind Optimizer for this. Type in Gausman because he's one of the guys featured in this. And did this get removed? It might have, as I'm speaking. Did this get removed? Please tell me now. I don't know. I still see it on the board. I'm not seeing it being pulled in here on the DGF Optimizer, but I can tell you that it was heavily favored. If we head on over another tool that I like to use here, guys, the OddsJam Sportsbook screen, go ahead and use that promo code KJKDFS to get a nice 35% off this tool. We can just go ahead and pull up the market data here for the first inning total runs in this game. Toronto, Oakland. You can see minus 124 on the under here on Pinnacle, minus 136 on the under on FanDuel, minus 150 on the under on DraftKings. All right. So every single one of these sports books, once again, is favoring the under first inning runs allowed heavily. All right. Doesn't look like it's removed from the board. I think the DGF Optimizer just might be refreshing. There's something going on here. But regardless, this is a fantastic prop if you're able to lock it in. For pick number 2, picks number 3 and 4, we're going to be taking Devers and Duran, and we're going to be talking about their over. It seems like not too long ago I was talking about this very similar spot. It's in Chicago with the wind blowing out at 10 miles an hour. The Chicago White Sox bullpen is terrible. Their starting pitching is terrible. Nick Nastrini is terrible. The Red Sox are going to be on the road, so they're going to get the guaranteed top of the 9th inning at-bats, which we like, and they've been red hot versus right-handed pitching over the last 30 days, most notably Duran and Devers. Duran's rocking a 366 ISO with a 468 WOBA. Devers is a 469 ISO with a 477 WOBA. For those of you that don't know, ISO is an isolated power metric, so that's their power. WOBA is weighted on base average, so it's their on-base average versus the handedness of the pitcher. In this case, it's a right-handed pitcher in Nastrini. You can see he's terrible. I mean, this guy sucks. Over a 38 at-bat sample size versus lefties. He's got a 34% walk rate. He's walking them a ton. He only has a 5% K rate. He's giving up a 240 ISO and a 461 WOBA. He is terrible. So this is going to be trouble for him. He doesn't strike anyone out, which would actually bring us to our next prop, which will be his under pitching strikeouts. You can see he's only gone over this in 2 of the last 5. I like the under here, so we're going to be taking that to go along with these hitters. But White Sox bullpen is terrible. We can pull up the bullpen data, man. Like I literally just talked about this on the channel the other day. If you're someone that watches my content every day, you would have seen me pull up this data the other day. But still, you can see the Chicago White Sox have the 1, 2, 3rd worst bullpen in the entire MLB. They're giving up a 4.59 xFIP. So their bullpen's terrible. Talked about that wind blowing out as well, right? That's going to be a nice little bonus for us. In Chicago, in the same exact weather, you know, we're looking at a 20.6% increase in home runs, a 12.1% increase in total runs, and a 14.3% increase in earned run average. So that's bad. Yeah, man. And then lastly, we can certainly pull up the ballpark just to give you guys a visual as to how Chicago plays with the White Sox Stadium. You can see it's pretty friendly for home runs, which it just so happens with the wind blowing out and 2 guys that can get into it, it's going to be fantastic. And last but not least, you heard me talk about this on the channel the other day too, if you tuned in, because I literally just talked about playing these 2 exact Red Sox guys. They just so happen to have been in good spots against these White Sox in multiple games. Duran is one of the top stolen base candidates in the entire MLB. He has, on the season, where is he? He's right here, 16th, 12 stolen bases. So you get 5 fantasy points for every one of those in the Prizepicks fantasy scoring format. And one of my picks I was going to promote here shortly just got bumped, the Nestor Cortez under 17.5 pitching outs, which is what's going to happen when you get good value, guys. This is going to happen every single day. It's annoying, but it is what it is. So that sucks. That was going to be one of my plays here. But yeah, so we're going with the over on Duran, the over on Devers, and then we'll take the under on Nick Nastrini. As you can see, already locked in. We talked about all those things, the underlying metrics. Then last is going to be Nestor Cortez, under 17.5 pitching outs. He just got bumped down. Heavily favored on all of these different sports books on Pinnacle. He's all the way up to minus 181 on the under. So this was crazy good value that we were able to capture here over in the VIP myself. So that's just what's going to happen when you get good value. And then lastly, the Nastrini pick, I'll pull him up on the DGF optimizer as well, so you can see the market data behind him, right? We're looking at minus 133 on the under on Pinnacle, minus 125 on the under on DraftKings, minus 125 on the under on Caesars, minus 130 on the over on Bovada, minus 140 on the under on Fliff. All of these different data points telling us to lean towards the under, right? So we're looking at all the underlying metrics. We're looking at all of the Vegas data, and we're getting the best possible value we can get, right, guys? So that's the full 6-6 flex. The last thing I'll pull up is I can pull up Duran and Devers on the DGF optimizer. Once again, guys, this is just streamlining the market data for us, right? The millions of dollars of sportsbook data. It's really simple, and then it's spitting out a calculation. But it's very valuable data to have, all right? So once again, if you don't want to get out of my slips, you can. If you're someone that likes to do your own research, it's 2024, man. You have so many resources. You can get my VIP and just copy my slips, have me do all the work for you. You can get the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. Use the promo code KJKDFest. They're going to give you 25% off. But Jarren Duran's going to be a fantastic prop here. You can see that DraftKings has him projected for the over at getting a 9.3. BetMGM has him getting 9.8. And if we pull up Devers here, that's going to be a similar story, right? DraftKings has him getting 8.3. BetMGM has him getting 8.3. So you heard me talk about the wind blowing out, the pitcher being bad, the bullpen being bad. I'm looking at all of that. I'm looking at the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer and Odds Jam to find the best possible props that I can get, right, with really good value. It's a lot. If it seems like a lot and you're like, I can't be doing this every single day, I got work, kids, wife, whatever the case may be, I've made it very easy for you. You just purchase the VIP package. You hop in the Discord. You're going to receive instructions on how to get connected as soon as you sign up. And then you're going to get access to all of my tickets as soon as I place them. So this was my very first ticket and the only ticket I've placed so far today on Prizepicks. I'll have more, I'm sure, As always, you can see I send it in right away. It's a 1-unit play, so all my VIP members have already locked this in with me. And all of my VIP members beat this annoying bump with Nestor Cortez, because that's what happens when you get good value. They're going to bump the props. So anywho, hopefully you enjoyed the content. If you did, it would be greatly appreciated if you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell on your way out the door. Hopefully we can get another nice, pretty all green slip for you guys here on the channel here today. The Cortez bump sucks, so you're not going to be able to play him anymore. But feel free to use every single one of these props. I probably would not use Nestor Cortez pitching outs now that I got bumped, but it's your life. So I know people are going to probably play bumps anyways because they just watch the free content. They want all the free stuff and just to get rich. So that's fine. Hopefully this helped you out. Best of luck on your Prizepicks MLB player props today, and we will see you in the next one.